Hey guys, welcome to Dialed In here at RacerX Online. This is our 2020 Kawasaki KX250, and we've already done our introduction. Thanks to Grant Langston for going up and taking care of those duties for us. Kind of showed you everything that was new. Today we put a bunch of time on this out here at Milestone and came up with what we think is a pretty good setting. As they've done in the past, 3 different couplers on this bike. Comes standard with a green coupler. There's a white coupler that's a little more aggressive and a black coupler that's a little more mellow. Ran through all of those. I would recommend starting with the green one and then trying white. The more aggressive coupler to me, unless you are a very beginning rider, I think you're going to like it better. It just picks everything up a little bit quicker, revs a little quicker, makes the bike feel racier to me. Hands down, it was the best map for me, but I really think that the general population is going to like that one best. The black one, I think maybe if it's really hard, dry, slick, or maybe it's wet, shiny, slick, it might be okay. It just builds the power a lot slower. So today we had really good traction. That wasn't an issue. And so to me, it was just building too slow. It was a very noticeable difference. So I really like the white coupler. That's what I would leave here with today, and I recommend trying. As far as suspension goes, forks come at this first line, and I would recommend keeping it there. Not a lot of changes recommended by Kawasaki as far as that's concerned. And I did make some changes to the fork. To me, the bike felt a little bit stiff on the front end, just in stock trim. Clickers come at 13 out on the compression and low speed in the back. And I felt like if I landed hard into stuff, it definitely doesn't bottom out, but it almost rides a little tall. So I opened it up 6 clicks, kind of 2 at a time until I got to 6 clicks out. So I'm at 19 out on this fork on the compression, and it's great. Still holds up really well under bottoming. It's not diving under hard braking. So a really nice setup as far as balance and really good action through bumps, landing through chop and all that stuff. So I was really happy. And I'm 170 pounds, and again, everyone's riding style is a little different. If you ride over the front more, or you like your front end very stiff, maybe you won't go that far, but just something to think about. I went quite a bit softer on the fork to get it where I liked it. The interesting thing was on the back, I didn't touch it. Literally not a clicker. I set the sag at 104, and they recommend 104, 105, and that's it. I left it all day long. I didn't have one issue. The shock tracks really well. The action's good. It holds up under big landings. I mean, literally not one complaint about this shock. So really, really stoked. And even the fork, such a massive improvement from last year. Really, really happy they went back to the spring fork, and the KYB is as good as they get. So awesome job. Congrats to Kawasaki for making a really good step in the right direction on the suspension. Other little tricks, not a whole lot. I really like the gearing on this bike. Again, we'll recommend to people, if you really want to get the maximum power out of this thing, pull the air filter cage off. But that comes, Kawasaki does not recommend doing that. That is a backfire screen meant to prevent you from burning your bike to the ground. So do that at your own risk, but it does improve flow, especially when you start going to different exhausts where the thing can really breathe. I'll tell you, that's really all we did. There was some talk that maybe the rear brake was too strong because they did go to such a big rotor and a stronger master cylinder. I loved it. You just can't stomp on it like maybe you have in the past. But to me, it was less work. You could just set your foot on there and modulate it in a very controlled fashion. And there's as much braking power as you need, front and rear. I thought those were huge improvements, and I don't recommend doing anything to those. There is adjustment in the bars in terms of the mounts, and again on the pegs, so you can go down on the pegs, forward on the bars, spin them out, so you got a bunch of positions to try. I like mine in the back position, and that's all just personal preference, but it's nice to know there's a lot of options there for setup. They come with the Dunlop tires, which is the gold standard. Not a lot of things to change there. 13 in the front, 12 in the rear is kind of the recommended PSI. And that's it. That's really it. I honestly don't have any other things about this that I would recommend changing. This is a really fun bike. To me, it felt a lot like when I got on last year's 450, and everything clicked. It felt comfortable right away. I felt like it did what I wanted it to do without a lot of input. And to me, that equals just fun. Because I don't have to work too hard to go fast on this bike, or fast for me. So I had a ball. Kawasaki nailed it with this thing. Huge improvement over last year. And again, I think with a very, very minor adjustments, you're going to be stoked on your Cowie and ready to go racing. So thanks for tuning in to Dialed In. We'll see you on the next one.